Welcome everyone to our podcast sharing insights and experiences for game studies and engineering students here at the University of Klagenfurt. Today, we're joined by Tanja from Point End, a company that brings innovation into mobility. Tanja, thank you for joining us. Could you start by briefly introducing yourself, your background, and your connection to games?
Hi, my name is Tanja Punz. I'm working for Point End. Our biggest question for our daily work is what's the point of the best mobility solution if you miss relevant target groups? And we support companies, cities, and regions in creating convincing mobility solution that appeals to everyone, from family, young people, employees to tourists. I'm responsible for our Better Mobility Accelerator. I'm expert for child and family mobility. And yes, we created a game 1 year ago. It's called Move It. It's an interactive game aimed to raising awareness of the diversity of life realities and movement patterns in daily mobility. So for families, elderly, people with disabilities, and so on. It's a board game, maybe everybody knows Mensch ärgere dich nicht, but we created a modified version of it.
Awesome. So Point End is in mobility. We all need mobility. I'm commuting. Everybody's going somewhere. And there are so many options and many people don't know about that. And I agree that it has to match the target group. Awesome. I'm personally very interested as the owner of a cargo bike and the Klima ticket and a car and 5 other bikes and the e-scooter and so on and so on. I know that there are a lot of options. Awesome. So we learned a little bit about Point End and the mission and the focus, but what is your day-to-day life actually in working in sustainability and mobility?
That's a very good question because it's a really good mixture of working with companies to unlock untapped potential for innovative mobility that moves everybody. We created the Better Mobility Trend Report, where we involved 5 mobility trend topics from health to 5-minute cities and so on. A very big topic. Also have the Better Mobility Accelerator, where we it's the third time in a row this year, where 12 European startups try to involve their products and solutions to reach more target groups and get more inclusive.
So today we're focusing on your game. It's called Move It. Can you give us an overview? What is its core? Is it a multiplayer game? Is it single player? It's relevant to Mensch ärgere dich nicht. I understand that, but what did you change? What did you leave?
So it's a multiplayer game. You have 2 teams. You have one game board. We have one in like reality, like a really big one, but also the small one. You have 1 dice. We created action cards. We created impulse cards, story cards, and idea cards. Yeah, you have 4 gamer per person, and you need a good mood. And the goal is also to learn about the life realities and movement patterns of various target groups by discovering the action cards. And you have these 2 teams, and each move proceeds as follows. Players may move as many spaces on the game cards as the numbers of points on the die. And if the game piece lands on a purple action field for the person, the top action card must be drawn from the stack. And the person or the player must read the action card aloud and perform the action described on it. And yeah, as I already told, there are 3 different card decks. The impulse card is expecting players to perform a specific task or movements. The story card is the players share personal experience, all regarding mobility. And the idea card is to challenging people's imagination and creativity.
Okay, so the goal is to foster creativity in people and challenge them. I also hear a little bit about educational purpose here.
Yeah.
Okay, so the goal is not that they win the game. The goal is that they are able to think in new ways about mobility.
You can win the game. So sure, from our side, it's the educational part. But for the players' fun part, you can win. It's like the same as Mensch ärgere dich nicht. When you are the first in your home base, so you just take the whole round from the game and be the first in the home game, then you
Okay, so that's the bonus, more or less.
um,
Okay, and as people are working in teams, is there a large social component? So do they have to make democratic decisions in the group, or is it more like single player decisions?
not really. So it's like if somebody told the personal experience regarding, I don't know, some mobility stories, then there isn't any true or false. And also there are some cards like there is some innovation in the mobility and you got it from family side, like an app. So you can move 2 fields forward. So it's always described on the cards.
Okay, and the teams are competing team against team,
Yeah.
but no competition in the team. The
No.
teams are cooperative.
No.
Okay,
Like
so
when Mensch ärgere dich, you have this 4
colors of the
mini cards,
pawns,
yeah.
yes.
And yeah, in real life you have the 4 people.
Okay. Okay, I understand. So you're replacing the pawns with people, so they're loosely connected and collaborating on a abstract level
Yeah.
in a way.
And it's also good for team events as a start because you don't need that much expertise for this game. You can dive slowly in the thematic of mobility.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and on the other hand, you have these group dynamics which emerge anyway when you have a team. Great. Who is the typical audience for the game? Who would play it? I mean, you said companies and team building. Anything
Yes,
else?
but we also create a card for kids. So also for schools, we offer the play for schools over a platform, so they can also use it in kind of special sport week or thematic week. We are there, and they also get then extra cards for kids for mobility situations and problems.
Okay, so mostly booked where you come around and then play the game with other people. So that would have been my next question anyway. Is it something I can buy or download, or is it something you book as an experience from point N?
Both is possible. So you can book it in a workshop, for example, like we start with the game and then we dive deeper and talk about their mobility solution and how they can improve it so that they can get an overview which target groups are mostly underrepresented. But you can also buy like the license and print it for yourself.
Okay, nice. Print yourself. That's always great. That's the community of the board game creators. That speaks to us.
Because the real
Awesome.
life platform is really big, so we can't send it via delivery.
And that actually leads me to my next question, because the immediate thing, I'm a computer scientist by training, or actually a mathematician by training, and the computer scientist, and because mathematicians don't earn so much money, I never said that. But the one option would be to put it on a beamer and to just put it somewhere. That would already be a digital component. Does your game have any digital components right now?
No, but it's a very good idea. I mean, for young people, may sound kind of old school, maybe, but yeah, I think it would work because it doesn't matter if it's on a table or somewhere else. You just need to forward your fields, so would also be possible, right?
Yeah, we just have to turn it down, the projection device. So IKEA did that. I saw that with the carpet sizes, but it's broken. I have my personal experience with breaking stuff, so most likely it will not hold for long because of the cooling problem. But anyway, first idea that actually brings up the question: we are integrating the game, move it into the sustainability board game jam. So the main questions, as far as I understood, were, is there anything that the students can innovate in addition to the game? Is there anything they can innovate away from the game, like reducing features? Or is there anything that people can innovate towards hybrid or digital approaches? Would it summarize the goals of the game jam, or?
Yes, we are. On the one hand, we are happy that we can be an inspiration for creating kind of old games and use it in a new way, because we thought it's good to have a game that everybody, or mostly everybody, knows and knows the rules, and just add some new points and views to the game. But I think it's also, I mean, we live in a very digital way of life, that it would be very cool to also have this game in kind of a digital way to use it, European wide.
Okay. And the focus would be on the game-like approach to getting more sustainability or more diversity in mobility, or would it be like educating people, or
Both. On the one hand, we really like to show some innovation that already exists in mobility, because from our Better Mobility Accelerator, we know a lot of startups that are already creating inclusive mobility solution for families, elderlies, and so on. So on the one hand, there is something you maybe don't know, and like show some solutions. On the other hand, showing that there are many, many ways to move in life, because we always say you plan for what you know. And especially for mobility companies, it's really important to get some diverse aspects to their mobility solutions.
yeah, you got me. I'm on the same page with you, because planning with something you know is always kind of the problem. If you go by car all the time, you'll never know the benefits of a bike or a train or whatever. So is that also something that you want to transport, different modes of transportation and how they would fit together?
Yes, but we focus on the sustainable solutions. So, like car sharing, the lights go down, sorry. Car sharing, going by train, active mobility, and also the situations where you have somebody with you. So, you have children with you, or you do some care work for some elderly family members.
Yeah, I get you. We had similar discussion. I always bring in my personal anecdotes. So we had similar discussions of when I started to go by train. They said, but the train station is far away from the university. And I said, yeah, 900 meters. How do you manage that each day? And I said, by walking. But that's really far. And I said, no, it's kind of a tenth of what you should walk anyway a day.
Yeah, for you, but if you're a mother with, I don't know, a child who doesn't like to walk, and then you have to carry their bicycle as well, it might be very long.
That's true, but we have a 7 minute bus ride there. So every 7th minute a new bus comes along.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, we have that too. Even an electrically driven one in summer for the tourists. Awesome. So we're trying to tap the brains of the students for innovative ideas. Do you have any directions you would prefer?
We love to get some innovation and games that serve underrepresented target groups. So this is our main goal, because usually mobility solutions are planned for a niche, like young, fit, digital fit people. So if there are more games to get the knowledge that mobility is much more that we going from A to B every day, I think this would help many companies, many people to get better mobility for everybody.
Nice. Yeah, I hope they have great ideas. I mean, the view from you is definitely important. So we will have you here at the Board Game Jam anyway. So maybe we can tap your brain there. But the accelerator sounds intriguing, I think, because I don't know about many startups. I know about a few cool things. Like, for instance, we had this idea of putting up posters above the bike stands saying, thank you that you came by bike. And they should be big enough that the car drivers would also see them. So explicitly not thanking them might be a positive reinforcement.
Yeah. But maybe a story from the last year's patch is also, I mean, there are a lot of, they're getting more and more startups that create solutions for people that are blind, for example, like special classes or something like this, very technical. But last year, the interesting one was there was a bike seat, and mostly used from mountain bikers. And like their big aha moment was like, okay, there are a lot of people in the cities, like moms and dads, who use, for example, cargo bikes, and this seat would also be interesting for them. So they broadened their target groups in this accelerator program. They got some testing with families. They got some insight what they use already and what they need. So this was a very good point from our side, that there are existing things, but we just need to recreate it, and then there are a lot of more people that use it.
Nice. So that would mean that they are investigating how to upgrade existing bikes to match the requirements you typically have for a cargo bike.
Yeah, because the mountain bike seat was, I'm not a mountain biker, so if there is any mountain biker listening and I'm explaining it wrong, sorry for that.
I'll tell you.
The seat that goes down, and when you're riding, you need it higher, right? And it's also the thing for example, for cargo bikes, because they are much heavier than normal bikes. So it's also for smaller people like me, but good if you're standing at the lights and you just put it down, and then it's better to hold it with your children, for example, in front of the cargo bike, and then you go up and you can ride it much easier.
So the automatic seat management from the they're even electric ones. Yeah, I have one hydraulic system. Yeah. Now I get it. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, when I actually bought my cargo bike, I was really thinking of getting one instead of one classical long john one. I was thinking of getting those new like mofa experiences where you could put two people in the back. I don't know if you know them.
I saw it
So
in
it's
Amsterdam a lot.
yeah, so that's actually cool. You can a smaller person can sit on the back, but then of course you're missing out the large cargo box. That's the
Yeah,
downside.
in the Netherlands they use it a lot. They are much further than when riding a bike than we are in Austria, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's a very good episode of the podcast Geschichten aus der Geschichte about why riding a bike in Germany and Austria is not as popular as in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting story, actually. Yeah, the downside of those bikes, of course, are then that disabled people and people who are not mobile in that way cannot enter those seats. So it's good for kids, but
Yeah,
for people with
sure.
disabilities, it's not possible. Then you need the other way around, the rickshaw type or the long john. Okay, yeah, sidetracked. Sorry, again, it's always the same. So, what are your main hopes and expectations from the event? So, if there is 3 wishes you can say what you should have after the event, what would it be?
That's a good question. First thing is maybe getting also feedback to our already existing game, because we played it, with mobility companies and also with children. But yeah, I think students also have another point of view to this game. So it would also be cool to get some feedback and new ideas. Yeah, and also that they have fun. Second thing is to get to know the students and what they are thinking, because I think students have this fresh view to sites, because if you work long time in a company, also in a big company, you know the processes, and I think creativity is sometimes getting low. So I think this will be very cool to get some new fresh insights what students move today. And the third one is also to get some cool new ideas to games, and what more possibilities are there out there to create some fun ways to educate people.
Great. That sounds awesome. I can absolutely relate to the second goal. Again, an anecdote because I'm getting older and I'm moving away from the video games because I'm missing out on times and, staying healthy with the elderly like me means that I have to do a lot of sports too, which does not involve computer gaming or esports too much. So I have to tap the fresh views of the students also for that. So what do you play? Why is it good?
Yeah, I think the only game I play, and this is once a year when I'm sick, is Sims, to be honest. So this is my only game, and the game we created, but it's not digital.
Yeah, but The Sims is an awesome game. Many people underestimate it, but it's one of the emergent storytelling games. So there is no story given, you play it, and then a story of a life emerges from your actions, which is pretty neat if you think about it, because not many games can do that.
Yeah, maybe this is my fourth wish, that they create a new Sims, because I think the last was more than 10 years ago created. So if the student wants to create a new Sims, I would be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think The Sims is currently held or clinging to life like crazy. They're still trying to make money out of it, but it hasn't changed for years. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just checking my list of questions. Are there any particular areas of digitalization you want to see, or something that is a pressing need?
To be honest, no, because yeah, as already told, we play it in real life and not digital, and we are also not into some digital game creating. We are really not the experts for it, so I'm really open.
Okay.
What's happening?
Okay. Anything you want to keep from the game which you particularly appreciate? Something where you use the game for
The cards and also the 3 different settings of the card, because I think on the one hand, the story cards are really interesting also for the team, that somebody shares their challenges while going on holiday or riding a bike or whatever, but also bring in new innovation and also the insights from the target group. So I think these 3 perspectives are very relevant for the game.
Okay, so not also that they can drive a new game on these perspectives, but also that you can add up on them from the view of the student. So in 2 ways, it would be fruitful or beneficial.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I think that's basically what I thought of what we can learn about the game. We'll play it at the board game jam and see how it goes. So, any final words of encouragement to the students who want to dive into, move it, reimagine it, give you feedback, and bring out new ideas?
Maybe till June, just check out your surrounding, check out when you're going out, when you're on the move. Barriers and challenges could be there for others. So that's all what we also talk and tell our companies we work with. Check your surroundings, the people you're going. Second one is just be creative. Innovations build on new ideas and thinking outside the box. And that's what also is very fruitful for companies, for children, that they have fun and get to know some really new cool games, and not like we used Mensch ärgere dich nicht, but we build a new twist in it. And I think this is what really people motivate. And it's the fun on it.
That's both actually great advice. Picasso said, good artists copy, great artists steal. And that relates to that creativity is not creativity for itself, but you actually need to know what other people are doing and you have to remix and rematch it. And then you get something new. And that's also the reason why you should walk the world with open eyes. And now is the time until June to actually try to take the train one time, or go for a bus ride, or take the cable car. No, there are not many cable cars until June running, or go by bike, e-scooter, or whatever.
Or ask your granny what her challenges is, or talk to people
That's
maybe.
also good.
Yeah.
Yes, talk to people about how they master life and what their challenge is. Like, yeah, somebody who only drives the bike, ask them, what do you do on a rainy day?
Yeah.
Something like that. By the way, there are not many rainy days. I believe you're in Graz, so in Graz, there are even less than in Klagenfurt.
No, I'm in Vienna.
Okay, then there are a lot. No, it's not so bad, I think. Okay, where can actually interested listeners find out more about the game and about your company?
You can visit our homepage. It's pointend. There is all the information to the game, and you can also find our game on the Wien Extra homepage, because there is where the school classes can book it.
And we'll put both links, of course, in the show notes so that the readers, listeners can read it. So that's the way. Yeah. I think we can wrap it up for today. Thank you very much for joining us. That's very fascinating. I did not know that there is a business model about it. I mean, I learned about it weeks ago. I didn't know that there's an accelerator program for it. I did learn that today. That's how intense I read your webpage. I'm sorry for that. But it's
You can
actually
also
pretty awesome.
visit the Accelerator website on bettermobility.eu, because there you can also look at the innovative European startups from batch 1 and 2.
Tanja, before you go, any last piece of advice or inspiration for the teams who want to go into brainstorming and working on Move It and related topics?
As I already said, think big, think outside the box, and be creative and create something you and your friends and your family also like to play in your free time.
Nice. Then you already have the first convenience sample for statistical tests on your new game. Great. Thank you very much. So to all the listeners, your feedback is always welcome. Reach out via the podcast platform, most likely YouTube or Spotify. You can email us directly at gse@aau.at. Don't forget to check out the Game Studies and Engineering Master's Program at the University of Klagenfurt. You can still apply. And the links are in the show notes, of course. And Tanja, thank you again. It was awesome talking to you. Looking forward to meet you at the board game chat. Okay, bye.
Bye.